So maybe you overate this weekend. Maybe it was a holiday, maybe it was a family gathering, maybe it was just one of those weekends where you ate way more than you planned to. And maybe right now your brain's telling you that you blew it, that you need to be really good this week to make up for it. My friend, I need you to hear something. You did not blow it. And what you do right now, today, is so much more important than what happened this weekend. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the Biking Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Smith, and I lost 50 pounds riding my bike by focusing on what my body can do. Now, I teach other women how to do the same. I am obsessed with completely flipping the script on weight loss so that we can work out to feel good and feel strong. If you are ready to stop dieting, learn how to appreciate your body, and have fun riding your bike, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Hello, my wonderful friend. Welcome back to the podcast. And if you're just joining us for the very first time, I want to send an extra special warm welcome to you. I am so glad you are here. Welcome to the Viking Wellness community. Okay, so I'm recording this right after Easter, and I have a pretty good idea of what a lot of you are going through right now, because I have been there. I used to go there and be there every single holiday, every single Monday after a big weekend, and not just Easter, right? Like Thanksgiving, 4th of July cookouts, your kid's birthday party, any kind of weekend where there's food and family and fun, and you just ate more than you planned to. So I want to talk about what to do when this happens, because it's really not what you think. So the first thing that I want to discuss with you today is that it's not the overeating that is keeping you stuck and keeping you from losing weight. It's what you make it mean. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened at my house this weekend. I started Easter morning by having my usual breakfast and an entire cinnamon bun. Now, usually when I have cinnamon buns, which I don't have very often because they don't really feel great in my body or give me any kind of energy, they kind of do the opposite, but usually I only have half. But Sunday, no, I just ate the whole thing. And then I spent the afternoon prepping Easter dinner, and I was grazing on crackers, hummus, veggies, tortilla chips, guacamole. So freaking good while I was cooking and catching up with family. I then had a fantastic Easter dinner, had a little bit of 3 different desserts: lemon cake, sponge cake, and an eclair, Reese's peanut butter egg from my son's Easter basket later in the day, a ham sandwich on a biscuit, and there was a glass of wine for sure somewhere in the middle of all of this. So here's what happened. I got on the scale on Monday and it was up 3.5 pounds. And this is what I'm letting that mean about me, about my weekend, about what I did. I am letting it mean absolutely nothing. And it's not because I don't care about myself or my body. It's because I know better than to let that mean that I need to restrict like crazy this week. That 3.5 pounds is salty ham. It's food still moving through my body, and it will come back down by the end of the week, just like it always does. And so here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to restrict. I'm not going to punish myself and say like, oh my gosh, I have to do a hard bike ride. I have to do a bunch of strength training. I have to work off all of these calories. I'm not telling myself that I screwed up, that I ruined everything. I'm just going about my usual business. I'm back to my regularly scheduled programming. I'm eating my normal food. I'm moving my body because it feels good. I'm taking my sad bike path walks during baseball lessons, and I'm just going about my week. And this is the part that I really want you to hear, because this is the part that kept me stuck in this cycle of gaining and losing weight for years. And I'm afraid it might be keeping you stuck in that same cycle too. Because the thing is, I used to be, good all week long. I would be losing weight. And then a holiday, a stressful weekend, or just kind of your average weekend would come along and I would overeat and feel like I gained all that weight back and then some. But here's the thing. First of all, I wasn't actually gaining all of the weight back. I just thought I was because the scale was going up. And it wasn't the overeating itself that caused the problem. It was what I let that overeating mean. I thought it meant that I was weak, that there was no way I was ever going to be able to lose weight, that I just loved food too much and that this was never going to work for me, that I couldn't ever do what other women seemed to be able to do, that I wasn't motivated enough, that I wasn't disciplined enough, that I wasn't good enough. But here's the thing, none of that is actually true. The real problem was the fact that I was restricting myself so much during the week, and I was trying to live in a way that was never, ever going to be sustainable long term. Because no diet that I ever did, and trust me, I did a lot of them, ever taught me how to actually think for myself about food. It never taught me what to do when I stopped following the diet, when life got in the way. They just handed me a bunch of rules or a bunch of points or a bunch of Richard Simmons deal meal cards and told me I could eat this much, I couldn't eat these other things. And when I inevitably couldn't keep up with all of the nonsense, I would always blame myself. Every single time. Instead of looking at the diet, looking at the restriction and thinking, hey, maybe that's the actual problem. That's the thing that's not working here. So I'm here to tell you that if you overate this weekend, I need you to hear this. You did not screw up. You did not blow it. One day or one weekend of overeating does not undo a single thing that you have been working on. Nothing. I promise you. You don't need to skip meals this week. You don't need to restrict like crazy this week. You don't need to do some crazy intense workout plan to try to burn off all of the calories that you ate over the weekend. You just need to look at and focus on making your next best decision tomorrow, your next best decision today, your next best decision at your next meal, and keep going. That's literally it. And you may have heard me talk about this before. We don't need to be perfect. We don't need all of this endless motivation. We just need to get good at being willing to start again and say, okay, you know what? This weekend I ate a little bit too much, more than felt good in my body, and I'm just going to get right back at what I was normally doing and let it go. I'm making like Elsa and I'm letting it go. That is what I want for you. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is how when you understand your patterns, your cyclical patterns in your body, you get to choose what to do with them and how to handle these patterns. So here's what's helped me get to this place where I don't freak out about the scale after a big weekend of overeating. Back in January, I did a challenge on Instagram. I may have talked about it before, where I weighed myself every single day for 30 days and shared my thoughts about the number on the scale on the internets for everyone to see. And, if you know me, this was a very big deal because weighing myself is kind of a private thing. And I'm guessing that you may feel the same as well. But I was like, you know what? This is a way that I can really show people how to desensitize themselves to the number and really start to think about the fact that it is just one data point and not even an important one in your life. So here's the thing. It taught me so much about how my body works. And one of the biggest things I learned is that my body has a pattern. And I have a pattern. I tend to overeat a little bit on the weekends, sometimes more than others. Like this past weekend was clearly more than usual. And generally speaking, for me, the scale is always up on Mondays. And then it starts to trend down as the week goes on and basically work its way right back to where it was. It was astonishing when I actually just looked at the data points, how often and how many times this happened. And knowing this, like really knowing it because I was watching it happen week after week after week for a whole month, it just took so much of that kind of, oh my gosh, the number's up, panic out of it. I'll be really honest with you. I used to never weigh myself on Mondays because I didn't even want to see that number. But I really wanted to work on making that number not mean anything negative about me. And so when I stepped on the scale on Monday this week and I saw the 3.5 pound increase, I didn't freak out. I didn't spiral. I didn't think, oh my gosh, I need to skip lunch and do a 2-hour bike ride. I just thought, yep, there it is. That makes sense. I know that it'll come back down as the week goes on because it always does. And the other thing that I want to share with you about this is something that I think is really, really important. At some point, I might decide that I want to work on the weekend overeating a little bit more, that maybe this isn't how I want to feel on weekends. I might decide that I want to, see if I can lose a little bit more weight, see if there's a number that I might be happier at. But honestly, that possibility is always there for me. The door's always open. But right now, this pattern's working for me. And it has been working for the past 6 years. And I'm happy where my body is at right now. I'm not in any kind of rush to lose more weight. I'm just, content with how my body looks. I'm content with what my body does. And I'm not going to beat myself up over something that I understand and that I know how to manage. It doesn't make any sense. And this is what I so truly and badly want for you. I don't need you to be perfect with food. I don't need you to never overeat again. I think I've demonstrated that even after losing 50 pounds, I still overeat and I'm okay with it. I want you to get to a place where you understand your own patterns, your own behavior, where you're not scared of it, and where you get to choose intentionally what, if anything, you want to do about it. Like, I'm really upfront with you. I've chosen not to really do anything about this right now. And you can do this from a really calm and confident place, not from panic, not from guilt, just from this place of, I know my body, I know what it does, I know what's happening, and I get to decide what, if anything, I want to do with it next. This is a completely different way of living, of feeling, of existing than that whole restrict, overeat, feel terrible, start over Monday, go back, forth, up, down, left, right. And this just feels so good. It feels so much better. So here is what I want you to take away from today. It is not the overeating that is keeping you in this endless cycle. It's what you make it mean. So stop making it mean that anything is wrong with you. You overate. Full stop. It happens. It happens to all of us. Make your next best decision and move on from it. And when you start understanding your own patterns, your body patterns, your behavioral patterns, your food patterns, when you stop being afraid of those patterns, you get to choose what to do with them from this calm and confident place instead of from this panicked one. That's the difference. Maybe you decide, hey, I really want to work on my weekend overeating. I really want to do it a little bit less. I'm going to just kind of test and find out how to manage that and what works for me. This is what's different, just this calm, kind of thoughtful way of looking at the situation. This is how you lose your weight for the last time. Now, if you're sitting there and you're listening to this and you're thinking, I'm so tired of this cycle. I'm so tired of gaining, losing weight. I am so tired of restricting and overeating and restricting again. I'm tired of trying to figure this all out on my own. I want you to know that I do still have just a few coaching spots left right now. And if you want to talk about what it would look like to have someone just helping you break out of this cycle, all you have to do is email me at Stacy, STACY, at sassy, SASCY.com, or DM me on Instagram at Sassy Cycling, that's SASCY Cycling, with the word interested, and that's it, no pressure. We'll just have a quick conversation to see if this is a good fit and see if working together makes sense. If this episode helped you today, please share it with a friend who really might need to hear it. You probably know someone who's sitting there right now feeling guilty about eating too much food this weekend. Just send it to her and say, listen, you don't have to feel bad about this. There's a completely different way that we can look at overeating, and this can feel so much better. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I am here and I am cheering for you, and I am helping you every single step of the way. Talk soon.
Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Biking Wellness Podcast. Be sure to head on over to sassy.com/guide, SASCY.com/guide, to get my completely free Lose Weight Biking Quick Start Guide so that you can get started with simple, doable weight loss today. That's SASCY.com/guide.